Digimon, what's happening? What's all about? People, if you've been paying attention, people are very unhappy that they can't get the boxes for the recommended retail price, which, there's just so much demand, and I don't think Bandai really anticipated the demand. And with all the shortages and everything that's going on right now, it's just a symptom of the trading card market and the supply chain disruptions all over the world. But what's happening with Digimon? I am so looking at this and just being like, wow, this has just got so much opportunity as far as investing. It actually entices me as someone who really likes looking at trading card game markets. It's exciting me. I also love the product as well. I love the artwork. I love the direction. I love the design. I think the game is fun. But I also feel that Bandai has a track record of just overprinting things, and it's a big thing that happened in Dragon Ball, and it does scare me because it could... I don't know if it's going to hurt the market when it comes to Digimon. It did hurt the market when it came to Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball still has problems where it's really hard to be a single seller for Dragon Ball. Like, really hard. Like, it still has the problems where if you open Dragon Ball products, you have to hit those secret rares, and then all the other value in the set disintegrates, except for a handful of really playable super rares. Dragon Ball, it's got a huge collector base. Not even just for the cards, but I feel like people that collect Dragon Ball cards, they're collectors of other things. They're either coming from Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or they just really like Dragon Ball merch. They've got the statues, like the expensive SH Figure Arts action figures, and all that stuff is really cool. Dragon Ball merch is really cool. Dragon Ball in general is just super cool. And I feel like Digimon is very much the same. I think the Digimon player base and collector base kind of flies under the radar a bit because it wasn't such a... it definitely was like a franchise that was relevant when I was a little kid, when I was like 7 years old, waking up to watch it before going to school. I think everyone remembers the Digimon movie, which was, when you look back at it, like, productively it was a terrible mess, but like people still go back and just watch like the final battle between Diaboromon and Omnimon, because that's such a cool thing. It had amazing animation. It was a good little short that they kind of slammed in there, and it's just really good. So Digimon has this huge... I don't know if I would call it cultural relevance, but it definitely has a place in a lot of people's hearts. So when they made the trading card game, and it's amazing to see the job they've done, because when they did the Dragon Ball one, a lot of the Dragon Ball kind of just regular cards, they're stills from the show. Some of the super rares and rares, and they've definitely changed things, and things are definitely different now. But for the earlier sets, the old artwork was charming. The old 90s like frames and cells and that looks really nice, but a lot of the newer stuff feels like a little bit bland. Digimon, every card is made, every artwork is different from the ground up, and they've done some amazing looking stuff. Look at this. That's Omnimon. This version of Omnimon only came in the video game, but even if I just plug in Omnimon... Oh no, I can't spell. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Typing noises. Like, this is the big Digimon card right now. This is about a $280-ish card. And it's hard to pull. It's very playable, and it looks amazing. Look at it. It is the alternate art of this boy here. This is a super rare, which is about $100. And in the set it came out in, you have a maybe 50-50 chance of pulling it in your box. Because there's, I believe, 14... super rares. I've got a booster box in front of me. It actually just says how many super rares there are in the box. There are 20 different super rares. You get about 7 in the box. Okay, so 1 in 3. Not a 50-50 chance, but about a 1 in 3 chance of getting it per box. Slightly higher than a 1 in 3 chance of getting it per box, because you get about 7 super rares per box. It's a playable card. It's probably one of the better cards in the game, and that's why it commands such a high price point, and product is just scarce. And that's why the boxes are so expensive. These are, believe, meant to retail about $100 US in the States, or about that, maybe a little bit less. And there's just none of them out there. A lot of what hits the market at the moment, a lot of the boxes that people are opening right now are restocks of pre-orders that were made in December or January, or even as late as February, when they heard about the restocks coming, and stores put their product up. They put up a restock. Some maybe they don't. Some stores hold it. But there just isn't enough Digimon product to go around. There's been delays. Almost every release has been pushed back due to demand or due to supply chain disruptions all over the world. And that's just how it is. But it has created an environment where the sealed product is very expensive, and people, there was a lot less supply of the singles hitting the market, and now I believe the set 1 and set 1.5 restocks have happened in the States, or slowly happening, because a lot more singles are starting to hit the market now. If you were on TCG Play maybe 1 week or 2 weeks ago, you would see that, for stuff like Alternate War Greymon, there's like 5 copies listed. There wasn't many Omnimons. There wasn't many alternate art Omnimons either. Those cards have now, like, maybe there are more hitting the market. Maybe it's just because people see the price and they're like, yeah, I want to cash out. Something like Omnimon started at like 140, then it went to 200, now it's up to 280, and people probably just see the money and like, yep, let's cash out. I pulled on from my box, finally got my restock, finally got my box. Let's just do it and get the money and run. And, they can cash out and they can just go play the regular version here. Because it definitely is a player's game at the moment. I think people are starting to collect it. I've seen people start grading some of these cards. And some of them just look amazing. Like, we'll jump onto War Greymon. We go on the web. This website here is really good. So world.digimoncard.com, because it has really nice high-res images of the cards. Like, that's my boy there, War Greymon. I love this card. This is my favorite Digimon card that they've made so far. It's so awesome. Like, the line art, it's just my boy, Digimon. War Greymon. But even the regular cards look nice. This is just a regular super rare in the set. They've got a couple of different ones because he's a different card. This is the one from the starter deck. That looks really nice. Then this is Black War Greymon from the second set, the Booster Special Release 1.5. That's the base secret rare. That looks awesome. But then you pull up his alternate art. Oh my god, look at that. Look how cool that is. That's awesome. This makes me want to go and buy Digimon merch. Maybe those Figure Eyes 2 War Greymon figures. I might get those because they look really cool. It's really tempting. I don't want to spend money on stuff like that because it's toys. I'm a grown man. I probably shouldn't be spending money on toys. So, at least we can hide the cards a bit easier. But, yeah, like, the artwork looks amazing. People are loving the game. The game is really popular. But let's talk about some things about supply. And a lot of people probably have jumped off the video, and this is where the value starts coming in. Before, it was just me just like gushing and being like, oh my god, it's so cool. So we have boxes here that are very expensive. And the restocks have happened. The thing is, the third set, Great Legend, has been delayed 2 months. It was already delayed 1 month. It's now delayed 2 months. That delay could keep happening. The set that was meant to come out after Great Legend has been pushed back 2 months from when it was meant to come out. So this means that what cards are available? You have the starter decks, which are made in very low supply. The starter decks are actually really expensive. Like, on TCG Player, like, I believe these are pre-orders, but the other starter decks, if we just keep going down, they're meant to be like a $10 product. And they're selling for almost... There we go. Someone's asking $40 for just a regular star deck because there's like one card in here that isn't in the set that is really, really good. I think it's Gaia Blast. It's just a... If I just go here, starter deck Gaia Red, I think this will be like a $10, $15 card. And when you need a couple of them, like, that starter deck is going to get very expensive because people crack the starter deck. There isn't many left. There we go, Gaia Force, $8. So it's come down a little bit, but there are cards in here that are exclusive to the deck, and it just adds up to the value. And people want to, and this probably sells for a little bit less, but it's still selling above MSRP. So what happens with all this? Well, the product that's already here is just going to keep getting eaten up until the next release can happen. And then how much is going to come in the actual Great Legend release? Will it be split up into different drops? Will there be enough to go around? These are all the types of questions that I ask and make me think, well, is this something that I should be buying multiple cases of? Because the cases are out there. Maybe you just pay a little bit more than what the retail price is. But is this a $500 box? Is this a $600 box? Is this a $1,000 box? Because even if traditionally or normally these products wouldn't be so expensive, we now exist in an environment where people are aggressively pursuing trading cards, especially new stuff. Everyone wants to buy the new box. Look at Flesh and Blood, Welcome to Wraith. They didn't print much of the first edition one, and now it's a $4,000 box. Maybe that softens, maybe that drops, maybe the Flesh and Blood secondary market is just propped up by people wanting to be on the ground level, and they don't care about the game, and they're just hoarding product, and maybe they get sick of hoarding product because the price doesn't keep going up, and they cash out. Who knows? I don't think Legend Story Studios is going to reprint that, but Bandai has shown in the past that they will reprint a lot of product, and that they overprint, and then they throttle back, and then they print some more, and that's completely understandable. I don't think it's their fault. I think it's very hard to gauge the demand. The reason why these boxes are so expensive now is because Bandai are like, yeah, this is a brand new game. We aren't going to oversaturate the market with something we might not sell. We have to see how it goes. And now people are seeing how it goes. But yeah, this box set 1, I feel like this version 1, I think we treat very different to version 1.5. This version 1.5, you've got, let's go back to the card list. Okay, you got your $100 Omnimon. You have your alternate art one. Like, they're very playable. This is playable and looks amazing, right? There's just a whole lot of value there. Then we got your War Grain ones. Playable and looks amazing. Playable. I believe this is also playable. And then you have another alternate art here of this one. And really, really good. But, oh my god, look at the artwork on him. He is the Charizard of Digimon. And this almost is like the base set Charizard. I don't know which one's going to be worth more in time. Is it going to be Omnimon or is it going to be War Greymon? Because they both look... I honestly think the War Greymon looks better, but this is Omnimon. I've seen some other Omnimon artworks that are going to come out. I think the 4th set is literally just Omnimon for days. So many different Omnimons. And there's about a $50 difference in the box prices here. The version 1.0 is selling for consistently a lot more. The latest sale you can see on eBay, $215. And then 159. That's United States as well, but only one bid. Bids may be a little bit different. I'm guessing this is a pre-order for 130, but yeah, there's a bit of a different vibe going on. The best cards in version 1.5, and TCG Player hasn't really separated them. I really hope that they do go back and separate these. But the best card in 1.5s are these two Omnimons here. If you don't know what the Ultra S Omnimon is, just randomly, trivia, it came out in a video game, and he's made up of, well, I guess Greymon and Garurumon, but instead the roles are reversed, where Greymon's a gun and Garurumon's a sword. And hey, it's cool. But even like some of the alternate arts don't look as good. I just think visually there's a lot more going on, a lot more collectability in set 1, and that's going to matter more down the line when the value of the cards is less about playability and more about collectability, and that's if the collector base builds itself up. Set 1 also has this Metal Greymon here, and about $58-$60, and there's a lot more of them than there was. This card was about $20-$30, and it's almost doubled, which is cool to see that the cards are holding value. But if they keep printing it, and we don't know when they'll stop printing set 1, we just don't know. Like, we just will not know until it just stops coming, I guess. Will the prices of some cards like this just plummet to the ground? What's going to happen? Like, we'll jump in here. I really want to show everyone like a high res image of that card. Sorry to go off and stop talking about stuff, but like, it's such a cool throwback to the game that came out in 1999. That's what this is trying to emulate and pay homage to. And I'd love to see some more cards like this, where this is basically, I think this artwork wasn't a card, and they've just updated it to have the frame of the modern card game. It just looks so cool. Like, Metal Greymon is just he's just a boss. So this is what the regular form of him is meant to look like, and this is still pretty cool. This is just a regular secret rare, and that's his alternate art. Yeah, they're just doing the art so well. It's just so cool. Yeah, I really like it. Like, even this one here, this is a common, and he still looks awesome. I'm probably going to do binder sets. Anyway, sorry, getting back to the value of this. We don't know how everything's going to be printed, but we do know that these are the only products available. The starter decks are not easy to get, so people, if they do want to pick up the game, they're going to be buying set 1 and 2, set 1 and 1.5, which technically set 2 because it's a different booster box. And then it'll be interesting to see what happens with Great Legend. Will Great Legend be overprinted and scare people off when they go, oh my god, Digimon's sitting on a shelf not selling? Will people just be like, oh well, Great Legend's out, I don't really care, but I really still like set 1, I'm going to go buy set 1? Will Great Legend burn stores, and then stores don't want to carry the product? and they don't want to support events because, oh, I have thousands of dollars of this great Legend booster box no one wants sitting here. I have to feed my pet chihuahua and my children. I can't afford to hold on to this product that I have to sell at a terrible margin and compete with every other online seller that doesn't care and has lower overheads than me. That's a big thing, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Yeah, that's the big thing about Digimon. And then I also want to talk about the Digimon promos. Now, Dragon Ball did this too when it started off, and they put very, very powerful cards as promos, which I don't like. Let's look at the price of some of these cards. These are tournament pack promos. We have a certain health situation, if you haven't heard about in the last 12 months, that's been causing some problems. Just a couple. So these cards are locked into a very, very small amount being distributed, and if you want to play these decks, you just have to cough up the cash. I don't really like this that much. I feel that, and I understand that they probably couldn't have predicted what was going to happen, and this was probably down the pipeline, and they probably only had so much that they put in the printers because they're like, okay, yeah, let's see if people actually play the game. We don't know. We're just feeling it out. We're just testing the waters. We don't know what's happening, and that's pretty much what's probably happened here, right? They didn't purposely make these super hard to get or super expensive. And I really just want to focus on the tournament pack ones. Some of these promos are a lot easier to get. Some of these promos are just alternate arts, and that's fine. Like, I really feel like alternate art promos is kind of the way to go. But some of these, if you want to play the cards from these decks, you just have to pay the price, and that's just what they are. And hopefully they reprint these. Hopefully they see the high prices and be like, yeah, reprint it. Because I do feel that with the game so early on, that you have to really consider accessibility. I would rather that cards, and I think the way you balance accessibility versus collectability is that you don't necessarily reprint the products, but you make the cards available in other means. Like how Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic does it, you know? Put this Diaboromon in a deck. Put him in another set as just a regular super rare. Make him easy to get. Maybe give him different artwork so the original card has collectability and stands by itself. It's its own individual thing. I feel like that's the fairest way to do it, you know? And then, yeah, it'll tank in the short term, but eventually, you know, maybe it goes back up, maybe it just plateaus. And that's the balance that every card game is going to struggle with, you know? You just can't do anything else differently like that. Oh, God. It's just clearing my throat there, boys and girls. I'm not dying. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Digimon. Full disclosure, I have Digimon product that I sit on. Not a lot of it. I'm more just like, oh wow, this is cool. Maybe it goes up, and if it does, I can keep one box and sell off the others. That's how I'm approaching this. Same with some of the singles, grading some of the singles as well. I'm doing binder sets of the cards I really like. I'm buying all the Japanese singles as well because they're a lot cheaper than the English ones, and I just care about the artwork. I don't necessarily care too much about having the English one. I am keeping English copies of other things, and you know, I've got my boy. Where is he? I've got this one. He's my boy too. But I've also got Oh no, we died. I also have my I've also got my War Greymon. I've got my Black War Greymon. These cards just look amazing. I collect for aesthetics, for the artwork. That's basically how I collect. I just think it's really cool that they've made this game. And you know, if it dies, oh well. It's made me go back and look at like battle spirits, like Japanese battle spirits, other Digimon card games, and you know, you can pick up stuff really cheap, like a couple of dollars here and there. Yeah, it's really cool, really interesting, and I'm gonna keep a keen eye on with Digimon, and I'll report back and tell you guys how it's going, what's happening. I haven't really been keeping too much attention on like the competitive side of it because I kind of just, my interest is in the collectible side of it, so maybe people see it as a shortcoming and that I'm not really giving it enough attention, but oh well, I can't be perfect. This is my channel. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. See you later, guys. Have a good one.